ho, 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 ho. Hello there, boys and girls, and big boys and girls. I've been busy delivering all the gifts because this is my night to work and surprise a lot of children for the morning. But I had heard that the good people of Craig were having this 12 Days of Christmas as a fundraiser for Power. And I thought, well, gee, I could offer some time and maybe read a story. I mean, I have a tale about 200 years ago, Santa Claus delivering gifts, and that was like my great, 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 great grandfather. Um, and I thought it'd be a good match. So before I begin, I want to show you kids. These are real sleigh bells. Now, if you hear them in the middle of the night, don't get up. Stay in bed and go back to sleep, and then you'll be surprised in the morning. But there's no peeking, there's no cheating. That doesn't work, okay? And now I will read to you 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. As soon as we get the right pages open, here we go. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. And there are the stockings, you see, all nicely hung. Because that's what they did in those days. That's where the gifts went, inside those stockings. And you see that cat? Now, if you were a mouse, would you be stirring with a cat all around? I don't think I would. I'd be hiding. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. And this is how people slept 200 years ago. They didn't have the fancy heating equipment we have these days or the insulation. And so they just made sure that the bed was warm. So they had these heavy drapes that they would pull around the bed. And at least once you were in your bed, you'd be nice and warm and stay that way until morning. And you can see that Mama is wearing a kerchief, sort of a little linen hat, and Daddy is wearing a cap, something like mine. But that's what they wore when they went to bed to keep their heads warm. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. And there's Dad, jumping out of bed. What is that racket? What in the world is going on? The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. Now, wouldn't that be a sight to see that in the sky? And this is in the days when they didn't have internet. There was no fast communication. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. And you notice there's no Rudolph. Not with the original 8 reindeer. But I have a belt buckle that has Rudolph. And he has his bright, shiny red nose. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, and dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. And so the reindeer came to the house and headed straight up for the roof. So up to the housetop, the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling are heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. And there's Dad watching them go up on this roof. Now this is part of the magic. How do they stay up on the roof? You ever wonder about that? As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler, just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. Must have been pretty cold out there. But there he is, getting ready to go to work, putting all the gifts in the stockings. But you see how all the ashes and stuff. Now, how he gets into your house is going to be a question. You know, does it come through the crawl space? Is your chimney big enough? Or is it going to come through the front door? He'll figure it out. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. There's Santa getting ready to go to work. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. And a wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. It's like, oops, I got found out. But it was okay with Santa. St. Nick in those days. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. Now that's a pretty good trick. But St. Nick could do it. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Now that's my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, those many years ago. And tonight I'm going to go back and finish my job. there's something like 195 countries and 3 million children I have to deliver to. We get it done every year. That's more of the magic. But before I go, I just want to mention one more time that as you think about this time of year and generosity, please give generously to Power. Staff there give their time and their energy generously so that people in need have what they need and can take care of themselves in their crises. So with that, Merry Christmas to all. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.